spoke to a wife of a friend of mine a couple of years ago whose husband had died. I used to work with him, and she said he died in the end of alcohol issues. And I said to her, because she knew my issues years ago, and I said, did he have any help? Did he go to the AA? Did he go to the hospital? Did he go to the doctors? And she said, no, because he wasn't that bad. He wasn't as bad as you. And I thought, well, he obviously was. He's not here anymore. Now, a lot of people fall into this category of, I'm not that bad. He's not that bad. He hasn't got this. He hasn't got these symptoms. He hasn't got the other symptoms. People know when they're drinking too much. Now, just because somebody else might have severe symptoms doesn't mean to say you haven't got any problems. So you've got to be careful of this. Oh, I'm not going to cut down. I'm not as bad as him. Because I used to do that sometimes when I was in the pub. I used to think, well, I'm not sitting in the corner for 12 hours a day drinking myself to death. I'm not as bad as him. I'm not as bad as her. But you are, and you might be worse. It's so easy. It's a cop-out, isn't it? I've got a friend who I told 5 years ago to stop drinking. He's in hospital now. He had 2 strokes, severe high blood pressure through alcohol. He then broke his hip. He won't last long. I know he won't, because he didn't take notice. And you know, his answers to me were always, I said, why don't you cut down? I'm not as bad as you were. He's much worse now, isn't he? Because he didn't listen, he didn't take any note. And we're all guilty of that in a way, because we want to keep on drinking. It's a form of denial, isn't it? I'm not that bad. I do need to stop. Not as bad as you were. I haven't got any ascites fluid. I haven't got any malnutrition. I look okay. I feel okay. I don't care if I die. All this nonsense. And that's a very, very dangerous trap to fall into. I've got another friend. I went to a GP not long ago, and they said to the doctor, I don't feel well with the drink, I'm drinking too much. And he took one look at them and said, oh, you're not as bad as George Best yet. Just cut down, try and taper off, all this sort of thing. I remember myself going to see a doctor about 10 years ago, and this is what they said. I'm not blaming the doctors because they're overworked. There's too many alcoholics, there's too many people with drinking problems. I said, Doc, I'm really, really suffering with the alcohol. Have you tried tapering down this and the other? I said, yeah. He said, you look all right to me. Your blood tests have come back fine. Just try and taper off. You're not that bad. You're not that bad. It's a thing that runs through drink all the time. You're not as bad as this one, you're not as bad as that one. It's called the silent killer liver disease. Same as blood pressure. High blood pressure. Unless you get it checked regularly, then you can be in danger. And if you're watching this, you're probably drinking too much. Because you don't want this out of fun. It's not a fun subject, is it? You know, it's a very dangerous substance that can lead to death quite quickly in life. And I'd rather tell the hard truth than a soft lie. And the hard truth is that if you continue to drink and you've got issues, and you don't get yourself checked, you don't pull yourself round a bit and start eating properly and lose a bit of weight and all these other things which will help you, then you will die young, probably 20 years earlier than the general population. So what I advise people to do is to get checked and to speak to me, or speak to somebody who knows a little bit more about it. Speak to another alcoholic. How did they stop? What do we need to do? Because it's so easy to go in the pub and just stay there. And as soon as you get the taste for it, you're there all night, aren't you? And when you get to this stage that maybe you're at, or I was at, we haven't got the choice to go back to social drinking anymore. We've got 2 choices. You carry on drinking and cause yourself all sorts of medical issues, or you stop. Then you have to stop for life. And it's a massive emotional impact when somebody says to you, you have to stop for life. When alcohol has been around your life, it's been in your life since you were 15, 14, 15, like me, you've been a regular drinker. You've enjoyed yourself at times, but most of it comes down to being bloody miserable later on when you're not feeling too well, you get a bit older, get a few aches and pains. You really have to look after yourself because you've only got one life and it doesn't last long in the grand scheme of things. And I would say every heavy drinker that I know is on medication. I don't take any medication now. I managed to avoid it. I've been very lucky. If I can stop drinking, then you can stop drinking. And you must forget about other people and look after yourself. And forget this, I'm not as bad as him, I'm not as bad as her. I don't drink 3 bottles of wine, I don't drink 5 glasses of whiskey in the morning to go to work. I don't have 20 pints a day. You're drinking too much, aren't you? You know you are. And that's when you've got to get some common sense into your brain and think, well, okay, I might be a bit bored for a few days. Fill your time with something else, get another focus, get a hobby, start to eat healthily. You must have a focus. If you're one of these people who, every night after work, comes in at 6 o'clock, has a few cans of beer, trying to get you to sleep and relax, really, with what you think you're doing, although you have a poor sleep. It doesn't relax you either, it stresses you out, but you think it relaxes you. You've got to change your habits. The amount of time you spend planning to drink, drinking and recovering from drink. There's a lot of spare time now when you're sober, and you can do other things with it. You do productive things, healthy things, and have a better life. So next time you go to the pub, cut down by 1 or 2. Start to do that. Start to look after yourself. A lot of people I speak to and I help are overthinkers, very caring people, and they try to do so many things at once they don't look after themselves. You've got to be a little bit selfish with this alcohol thing, because if you don't help yourself, you can't help anybody else. And you've got to be number one in this, because we sometimes sacrifice ourselves for other people's benefit. And that can lead to more stress, more alcohol. And all the problems that you got become insignificant because the alcohol will become your main problem. So you drink alcohol to get over your problems, and then alcohol becomes the main problem. And when you next walk into Boozer and see Big Jim in the corner who's been there for 5 years every day and think you're not as bad as him, you could be much worse, because it will affect your mental health as well. Cancer linked to it. As I said, high blood pressure, pancreatitis, kidney problems, all sorts of things can be linked to alcohol. So look after yourself. Think about yourself for once. Get checked out. Insist on being checked out. If the doctor says taper off, try and taper off. It doesn't work for everybody, but obviously does for some. Speak to an alcoholic. That's the key. Give me a shout. I'll try and help you with this. Because if I can get off the booze after 40 odd years of drinking heavily, then you can. And it's a wonderful world, you know, especially when you're sober. If you benefit from these videos, then please subscribe and share them, because we've got a massive community now. It's going really well. Speak to other subscribers, and if you need any help, I'll put my email and telephone number in the description for you. I'll speak to you soon.